For 30 years, NES Tetris games never went past level 29, but when a new generation of younger players were introduced to the game, an arms race of button mashing strategies began to dig into the untapped potential of the kill screen. At the 2022 World Championships, the finalists broke 2 million points live for the first time by making it all the way to level 73. The game was no longer about eking out every bit of efficiency in a limited time, which is what drew a lot of people to the esport in the first place, and so the community all agreed to use a special modified version of Tetris which added a super kill screen at level 39. Every frame, the pieces would fall 2 rows, double the speed of level 29, and the climactic ending of NES Tetris games was restored. For 4 years, 2 million would never be seen in live competition again, because how could you get that many points in 39 levels if it took the best player in the world 73 levels to get that score just a few years ago? This is the new live NES Tetris world record explained. This is Meme. Her skill exploded in 2024, and ever since she's been an established top player, one of the most popular figures in the scene, and when it comes to regionals, one of the most feared. In 2025, she had 71 games at regionals that scored at least 1 million points. The next best, 28. After coming second in the 2025 World Championships and the 2026 World Championships being only 2 months away, her latest stop in the latter stage of the season circuit would be the Midwest Regional. Without losing a single game in her run to the final, she faced Rhubarb, and in Game 2, history was made. Our players start on level 18. A piece will fall at roughly the rate of 1 every second at this speed, which is fairly manageable for experienced players. Despite all the top players being fluently able to play level 19, effectively all players in all tournaments prefer to start on the slower level 18 because you get 2 speed transitions rather than just 1 like on a 19 start. A 1.5 times speed increase at 130 lines, and a 2 times speed increase at 230 lines until the climax of level 39. Since the pieces lock to the stack instantly, misdrops still do happen, as Rhubarb does here. The aim of the game is getting Tetrises, these 4-line clears that provide 7.5 times more points than 4 singles. As a result, the long bar is the most important piece in the game. Unlike modern versions of Tetris, the NES edition has piece sequences that are effectively truly random, so maintaining efficiency, navigating unlucky sequences and long bar droughts is the main source of challenge for level 18. So far, Meme's been doing a lot of clever overhangs to get out of unaccommodating board situations, but she's also not been afraid to burn when necessary. If you can fix your board with 2 burns, you might prevent yourself from getting into a dig, a situation where you need to clean up a dirty stack like Rhubarb's been doing for nearly this whole game. It's a constant balancing act between aggression and safety. You can see Meme keeps looking to the side. What is she looking at? Well, since she's right next to Rhubarb in person, she's looking at his board to see what's happening. NES Tetris is an esport where you don't directly affect the game of the person playing next to you. The 2 players play individual games, but they get the same piece sequences. As a result, screen looking can be used to see your opponent's score, their board, and if you're behind in the piece sequence, you can look at their next box to see what pieces they're getting, and as a result what pieces you're about to get, and their piece statistics to see, for example, how many long bars are coming. This is all really useful information, so top players make a habit out of screen looking. However, Meme here is ahead in the piece sequence, so she'll mostly be looking at Rhubarb's score and board situation. Here, due to a bad topology, Meme decides to create a long bar dependency. A better move here would have been to take a delayed single with the L and S. She places this S in columns 9 and 10, which creates another long bar dependency. Again, a better move here would have been to see the upcoming square and create an overhang in column 2, tucking the square in. The act of moving your current piece from where you would have placed it in order to accommodate the next piece is called an adjustment. You might have heard James Chen call some adjustments micro adjustments, but this is just something that James Chen says and isn't actually a real thing. Meme gets one long bar to fill in the first dependency and uses his S to set up a center well Tetris. Players prefer to put their well on the right side rather than the left or center because the long bar always spins with a bias towards the right, and it's harder to maintain two independent stacks cleanly. Since there's 4 Minos in column 10, if Meme gets a long bar right now, she'll be able to move back to the right well without having to take any burns. This is called a perfect well transfer, and it's why you'll see her try and avoid putting any more weight in that column 10. However, she gets this really unlucky sequence and covers the well, eventually leading to 7 burns. 7 burns where if she just took one earlier, she wouldn't have been in this situation at all. However, at 80 lines, her pace is still very strong and she has a huge lead. The next 30 lines are really clean. Meme plays almost perfectly until at 170 lines, she has a high stack because of a previous drought. She gets the S to bring it down, but she missed a flip. At 14 rows high, this is a catastrophic misdrop and could be fatal. Meme looks visibly shook. She smartly opens up the well with this O placement, but there's nowhere for this S. A drought might kill her, but she gets the long bar and squeezes it over for the clutch Tetris. This triple opens up the board really nicely for a relatively safe board into transition. 640,000 is a strong transition score, 91st percentile in all 2026 stat track tournaments, although maybe not a transition where you're thinking about a world record just yet. After these placements, Meme's board is really jagged. She is nowhere for this square, so sets up a T-spin and gets it. That move only has a 2-frame window, 1/30th of a second. Meme sets up this awkward overhang with this S-piece. It actually is the optimal move here, but it's still not a good board, and so she sets up a 2-burn clean. When Meme gets this L and can see the long bar in the next box, she wisely decides to adjust it here and set up the long bar dependency, which immediately would get resolved and save at least a burn. However, she misdrops and now her stack is really bad, but she's able to make relatively quick work of it and get back in a scoring position. Meme crosses over 1,000,000 points, and the first digit of her score is displayed in hexadecimal. We'll come back to this once she crosses 1.6 million points. She has a 200,000 point lead over her opponent and her pace is very strong. She's looking to get about 1.2 million points into level 29. Here we are on level 28. It's time to get ready to enter the kill screen, but oh no! Meme double rotates the L by mistake. This is a tricky board, but that tuck and that long bar will open it up really nicely. Meme enters level 29 at 1.237, and look how fast the pieces are falling. How are players able to play on this speed when it used to be impossible? When your grandpa played NES Tetris, he probably just moved the pieces by holding down the buttons, but if your grandpa was Japanese, he might have rapidly vibrated his muscles to manually tap the pieces over quicker. Then a new generation of players invented a technique called rolling, where you hit the back of the controller into your stationary thumb on the D-pad multiple times, which finally allowed the kill screen to become playable. Now you finally know everything you need to watch this 29 play in full, and let's hear the commentator's live reaction too.
50,000. But Meme getting up the board, Tetris ready. Guess what a tuck at that speed. The pieces are flying at 60 rows a second. You had 1/60th of a second to get that tuck.
Yeah, and then immediately be ready to move the next piece.
Both rhubarb with this Tetris. This is very daring, high-risk Tetris. Super clean at 29 speed. Our audience is silent. This is so crazy. They're so intense. Meme up to 1.4 with that E. If we get to F, it's going to be 1.5.
Rhubarb. Okay, he had a bit of a misdrop on the right side. He has to burn this away. Could have been costly if he didn't get the pieces he needed, but I don't know. There's still
Tetris
a big
into 1.5 for Meme. We get a rollover at 1.6. It'll go back to 0. There's the rollover.
Wow. My God, the
Rhubarb's
tuck from
falling
Rhubarb.
apart, but he's just been playing his heart out, and he's just gonna not
gonna happen.
Because Meme is a machine with the rollover and lots of runway. If she wants to mow, and I'm not going to complain. Yeah.
Yeah, this phase.
She's sending a message to Alex T right here.
Yeah, it's not about winning the match. It's about sending a message.
This is sending a message. She doesn't need to send a wrestling promo. She's doing it with her game here.
There we go, 1.8. Oh my word.
You know, we talked about 2 million being
Yeah,
like
we were
a
talking about that
bonus, and, like,
earlier.
nobody's done that yet.
1.9, we could see it, Chris.
We're 100,000 away from 2 million. 50,000 points away. 2 Tetrises can do it. She's got the runway. She's got the score.
Come on.
Give it to her. Give her the line.
Come on.
Give her the line. At least one more.
Yeah,
There's
she got
it. 2 million points! With room to spare, Burp Wizard.
Oh my God.
A 91st percentile pre-transition, a 90th percentile post-transition, and then a 99.9th percentile kill screen for the first ever live 2 million in the Super Kill Screen era. Thanks for watching.